Yo, what's up, lads? This is sort of promo for my stream tomorrow. It's going to be the final one of this run, win or lose. But also, I'm going to keep it live on YouTube as, for the history books. I haven't been doing that many updates, and this can be a nice update. So I'll say here at the beginning of the stream and at the end of the stream that this is going to be the final stream tomorrow. I stream at 6 a.m. guys, which is about 12 hours opposite in the European Brussels time zone. In Europe, it's about 12 hours opposite. You have to figure it out from there if you're in another region, but yeah, I'd really appreciate it if people come in and tune in. So for people who do not know, we began this adventure here as Mantua. Now my timeline is really bugged out. It's a mess, this run, but you can see France is white for no reason, and Austria actually flips red, the same color as English. But yeah, we began as Mantua, so this is the same run that I've done in the past, which is borderline, never been done before. Similar level runs have been achieved, but once again as a one province minor, which is the attempt of a one faith, a one culture, as the lost culture of Rome, and a one tag. You can see we're out in the New World with zero diplobanking, zero exploits, or at least what we define exploits. People rag on me about that, but I assure you, no game-breaking exploits. And yeah, as a one province minor, it's pretty rough out here, guys. It's been a really, really rough time grinding this, and here's where we're at, 1721. So that was a little bit of an overview. We actually are Coptic, and definitely the world conquest and the one tag is going to come down tomorrow. There are only 7 great powers, so 6 independent nations in the world. Many of them we have a truce with, apart from this tag here. And yeah, almost every war apart from Mexico is a one and done. So we attack them and it's over with. So we will be attacking Mexico and actually having to wait for both this truce and that truce to end, and then go in and finish those 2 tags. Every other war is a one and done war. Otherwise, one of the variables we have to worry about is actually colonizing the world. You can see I've got 1 colonist, and I just send him back and forth to every single region, which, as long as we've killed the natives, it actually culture converts the province and religiously converts the province as well. And otherwise, as far as the one faith is concerned, you can see here that there's about 450 provinces remaining in the game. Remarkable, in my opinion. I mean, I'm not trying to gloat, I'm just doing better than even I had anticipated, because we didn't really use subjects this game, which is really cool. I had hoped that would be the case as a Coptic, and this is the only time we've ever gotten properly to the late game and to the end of the game. And yeah, I've proven basically that Coptic is really strong because of the 1.5 missionary strength, but also Coptic gets a 7th missionary from this is a unique holy city as long as you are Coptic. And really, really, really effective. In fact, we have a 21.5 religious missionary strength, as you can see right here. It's just remarkable. We state up the Sunni provinces, which have -2 to missionary strength, and these Sunni provinces, most of them can get converted at 5 or sometimes 6 months a pop. Just absolutely insane, to be honest. We convert most provinces at 6 months. With that being said, the real challenge, of course, is the culture. That's the one that, is after the religion. You cannot convert these provinces. Many of these provinces have no separatism here, but I'm actually unable to convert them because they're not of the appropriate religion. And this is how it looks. So you can see it's a pretty fitting time to update you guys, as there's 100 years. There's 100 years in the game for the next session. We will be riding the game out, fairly quickly in terms of time. Slamming down the missionaries until the one faith is done, and periodically dumping diplo points. And for the first time, you can see these guys are free here, which is really nice. We'll never be converting anything for 30, ideally. 22s are the highest development provinces, which are capped out at 30 cost, but with adjacent culture. 22s, and you can see there is a ton of them. So despite how good this may actually look, we have had a massive bias towards low development provinces, and the reason we do it that way is to spread the adjacency. Yeah, so it's really, I really genuinely don't know, guys, whether we're going to pull this off or not. We've got a 5 leading into a 5 here, putting us 1 point per month away from the potential cap, with a focus power projection from the military hegemon, and being the #1 great power, keeps you over 50. As well as rank 5 deploy advisor. We're limited by this variable, and it's 5 as opposed to the ideal 6 here. But yeah, otherwise for missions, we have 5 years of separatism reduced. So I actually have 5 years of separatism from forming Croatia with Croatian missions. But this is going to be 10 years of separatism, which is going to shave off 10 years of the total, I think 30 years of separatism from the last conquered provinces. But the development is just not that high. I mean, this is one of the highest developed provinces in the world that we don't own. We're going to be absolutely fine as long as it doesn't get occupied by rebels. I will leave troops here when we deal with Mexico. And yeah, it's just gonna, it is what it is, guys. I've gone more or less down the list. We update it every now and then as we accumulate more points, focusing on adjacency, and I've gone all the way down, converting the provinces which get a reduction by being adjacent, all the way down to, I believe it was 18 development provinces, which take 180 months. They take 10 per month, all the way down to 18s. So that's over halfway there, but like I said, massive bias towards the low end here. It looks good. A lot of this land will be converted via being colonized, and there's another issue, which is adjacency. Like I said, adjacency. So we do occasionally, we have historically, and I will again, we drop the odd culture conversion, which is not adjacent, as a way to basically penetrate into dense areas and create more adjacency. And previously, Germany looked like an area which was pretty dense, and by that I mean very red and would take a long time to spread like a plague. We dropped a couple in here, and this is looking a lot better. The deep green is accepted culture, by the way. Some of these are being culture converted. The red is unaccepted, the orange is being culture converted, and the green is Roman. Again, Russia looks very hard to break, but we've spread in there just impeccably. And then Asia, we've put a decent amount of provinces down to spread out of, and I'm pretty happy about that. But it does look kind of worse than it is for a number of reasons. Number one, we can't convert them if they're the wrong religion, but also basically, you know, Tibet is such large provinces geographically. Same with around here, but it's not quite as bad as it looks. This is probably one of the least kind of well spread areas, but that's okay. We've got 100 years in the game, and I think we're doing well. Now, speaking of the least spread areas, the New World. The New World, you can see that is not adjacent. We're finally breaking in here with some adjacency into the Caribbean. The Caribbean was the first area in which we began to one-tag, actually conquer and take out New World nations. You can see we've got some adjacency spreading up here to Canada, and also the colonies are a good way to create adjacency. But inevitably, what I will end up doing is there are many provinces around here that didn't exist in the beginning of the game. They get an 80% reduced bonus, an 80% culture reduced bonus, guys, 80. So what we will do is I will drop in probably one in like Central, one in North America, a couple, one in here, a couple in here. But these areas do still have separatism. So this was really the final boss fighting the New World. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. We are the Holy Roman Empire, this game. As you can see, the Coptic and the Roman, primary culture, Roman, Holy Roman Empire. Pretty cool. I will let the timeline run just for some people here. We began as Mantua. We did some subject play here as OPM. France is completely scuffed out, and then we got the scuffed inheritance this game. You can see here when we get it, we actually, I don't think you can actually see it here, but I seem to remember losing a couple provinces to Liège. Nevers was independent, and he actually lost Flanders, so just really bad, guys. But I literally streamed 6 days a month working on this for 6 days a week, excuse me, for 6 months straight. And like, it just never happened. We just never got a good game. So you can see Austria here is a English color, and France is Austrian color, just really messed up. But I formed the Netherlands this game with the intention to PU Britain with their missions, and it worked really well. And I pushed hard to take out France so I could form France to PU Spain with their missions, and it worked really well. And speaking of PUs, we're spreading all over the place here, by the way, forming France. I actually got a sort of quote-unquote lucky PU off of Portugal and slow-rolled a PU on Russia as well, which was the intention from the very beginning. So the real clutch one was Portugal because he was doing really well. And we actually had supremacy over every colonial region in the game, which allowed me to enforce religion on them, but of course once I annexed them, to enforce religion on all of the colonies, and that allowed me at a smaller stage when I wasn't that big, once I had capped out on converting everything to Coptic, I was able to dump my missionaries into provinces, colonial regions, which I would then abandon later on, you know, but we were able to convert them to our religion as though we owned them. Really, really good. And then you can see we formed Austria. Austria is a transition for a bonus of religious missionary strength for the entire game, but also we use the Austrian missions to annex things, the Austrian traditions and the Austrian missions to annex the subjects very efficiently. We also snuck in Sardinia, Piedmont, and then formed Italy. Upon forming Italy, we made Francine our primary culture. So, of course, being very small, it made an easy transition into Dutch culture when we got the inheritance. And then bordering the French, I switched to French because the French are a very big culture, and that is the culture that ultimately formed Rome. And then when I switched to other cultures later on around the early 1600s by unstating things and doing tag switches to Austrian and so on, I still treated the French culture as though it was my primary culture and spread that when I was converting, as opposed to whatever was my current culture at the time, into Piedmont, into Italy, and then we simply switched back to French primary because it was so dominant as Italy. Then finally forming Rome, it switches the French culture over to Rome. So right now you could see there that, well, maybe it was a bit fast, but the empire, of course, is united. So we were Rome, we united the empire, inheriting all of this land, and making damn near record pace for my run, where, of course, you know, this isn't a world conquest speed run, right, guys? Like, there's so much. It's actually remarkable, to be honest. There's just so much convolution to this run, but you can see the entire old world dominated. So I'll leave it there, but what I will say, tomorrow it's just going to be 17 Diplo per month for the rest of the game. That's how it appears. And we are culture conversion capped, which means the most expensive provinces in the world cost 22 with adjacency. To give you an idea, those are 30 plus development. We can reduce separatism. I can take 300 Diplo here from this mission. Amazing. We're going to be able to abandon this for 280 Diplo, and we're going to be able to spawn industrialization, which will give us 100 Diplo. And every other game variable that we normally worried about seems good. So it's just going to be writing the game out. Can we convert the world? Tune in tomorrow, guys, to find out, because, you know, in the past I've been a little bit bashful, suggesting that we're doing, you know, in our own little corner of the world, we're doing something never been done before. But to reiterate, this is as a one province minor. When I first mentioned it, I didn't even really think, to be honest, it was even possible. And then, you know, after so much testing, I realized it was. And it may be happening tomorrow, but I can say pretty safely in our own niche aspect of the EU4 run, like community, this has a never been done before run. And there's very few runs that are kind of, you know, at least with the style, even remotely near on this level. So I really, really hope that we get it done. And boy, I'm looking forward to a bit of a break after this one. But I would love it if you guys could tune in and show some support, guys. I had really good views today, and I would love it for the finale, my sort of work to pay off. If you guys are available, stop in and say hi. Maybe congratulations if it is appropriate. I appreciate that a lot. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow live, or I'll see you in another video. Appreciate you.